Hi, I'm Naya with Families in Transition. Welcome to Protect the Innocent. Today we're going to talk about trafficking. Do you know what trafficking is? Trafficking has been around for a long time. Long ago, it was swept under the rugs. People didn't acknowledge that it was an abuse. And so in 2000, there was a Protection Act put in place to protect our victims. In 2021, President Biden did an update on the Protection Act. So there is protection now to protect our victims against human trafficking. So listen to this story. Two Mexican immigrants who entered the United States in the 1980s devised a scheme to force migrant workers to work for citrus growers against their will, employing about 700 employees, the majority of whom were undocumented. The two ringleaders paid for the workers' illegal transportation, the cost of which was held against the workers as debt. Workers were also given huge debt for room and board and forced to work 12 hours a day, 67 days a week, and were held captive through physical violence. Trafficking is modern day slavery. People are being bought, sold, smuggled, beaten, starved, forced to work as prostitutes or to take jobs as migrants, domestic workers, restaurant, factory workers with little to no pay. Trafficking is a very brutal thing. People are being bought, they're being beaten, they're being starved, they're being trafficked every single day, every day of the week. As of 2016, approximately 40 million people were victims of human trafficking worldwide. Of these, 71% were female and 25% were children. The U.S. alone government estimated that between 600,000 and 800,000 are being trafficked into the country each year. Human trafficking is number 3. 3 is the most profitable international crime next to weapons and drugs. It estimates to profit $150 billion a year. $150 billion a year on human trafficking. Both sex and labor trafficking involve force, fraud, and coercion. It's the control. People are being held against their will, being told what to do. They're being controlled. They're doing things that they don't want to do, and they were brought into a situation being promised a dream that was never ever going to be, never even existed, to do something that they thought was going to be a dream come true, and it wasn't. Between 2008 and 2019, identified worldwide more than quadrupled from 30,000 to 120,000 victims. With COVID, the number of trafficking victims fell as travelers restrictions made human trafficking more difficult to track. So through COVID, what happened? People were closed in, they were locked in, they couldn't get out. So if victims had a chance to escape or to get help, they weren't able to do it because they were confined to a place due to the restrictions of COVID. If you were traveling during those times, they weren't able to get out and travel because, again, of the restrictions of COVID. In 2022, more than 115 victims worldwide. So we know that was what was reported because those are the victims that were able to seek help and get out, and those that weren't. So we can say that 115,000 is a very small number in 2022, when in 2016 there was just 15,000 more than that. So that's a large number, from 120,000, 130,000 to 115. That's a very low number. So just think about that. Who are the victims? Where do they come from? Human trafficking is a local issue as well as a global. Victims can be trafficked across the international borders as well as within a county, from city to city, or in your own neighborhoods. Do you know your neighbors? Do you know who is in your community? Do you know who's involved in your community? Do you know who your children hang out with? Do you know who are in and out your house? Because your children sit upstairs or in their rooms and make good grades and um, don't do anything. Do you know if they're safe? Do you have a relationship with your children, your grandchildren, your nieces, your nephews? Do you know? Do you talk about these things? These things are important because it's a real issue. Human trafficking is a real thing. It exists. People are being trafficked every single day. You go to work and make an honest living. Well, people are being trafficked every day as if it's a business, because it is. It's a lucrative business. Victims in the United States can be U.S. citizens, foreigners, both documented and undocumented. They can be adults, they can be adolescents, they could be infants. We don't know. Just know who's in your community. Try to know your neighbors. Try to have relationships with your friends, your family, your loved ones. Be in touch. Keep in touch with everyone, because it is important to know where people are these days and who they're interacting with. If you don't have locations, if you don't know how to track location, your friends, your families, figure it out. Learn how to keep up with your friends and family so that if anything happens, you will know where they are. Try to travel in packs. Try not to travel alone. If your children are going out, try to send them out with friends and or family members. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, follow us, and share. If you're in trouble or you know someone that's in trouble, please contact Families in Transition at 870-732-4077, the national hotline at 888-373-7888, or you can scan this QR code for CASA's website.